What if they cut my Social Security by 20%? That's a question you need to ask yourself because they absolutely might. That's what we're going to talk about in today's show. What if they cut your Social Security by 20%? There's three things I want to talk about. Number one, the threat. It's more than just a threat. They've been telling us in the Social Security annual reports that we don't get anymore unless you get online and get them. They've been telling us that in 2034, unless Congress acts, they're going to have to reduce benefits to 79% of the payout. That's over 20%. So they've been telling us that now for 20 years. And the problem is Congress has not changed anything. Now here's why Social Security is under such stress. Here's why we have the threat. Okay, when they first started Social Security, the average American male lived to 61 years and 8 months. You had to be 62 to actually get Social Security. And that's still the case. 62's the magic number where you can first begin to get the minimal amount from Social Security. Well, when they first started Social Security, there were 162 people paying in for every one person that was drawing out. Now, over a period of adding Medicare and adding disability and other things, it's a real threat to Social Security because now only 2.2 people are actually paying in for every one person that's drawing out. There's a problem. It's a big problem, and it is a threat, and for 20 years they've been talking about it, and so far they've done nothing. It is a serious threat, and that's why you need to ask yourself, what if they cut my Social Security by 20%? Now, let's talk about the numbers, because it's not just a political issue. Then they will bounce it back and forth in every election, particularly in a presidential election. They're the side that'll ruin your Social Security. No, they're the side that'll ruin your Social Security. The honest truth, they're all $34 trillion in debt, and it's growing every single day. And Social Security actually went underwater about 4 years ago when they went over $1 trillion a year being paid out in Social Security, and they will actually have to start cutting benefits in 2034. So here's the numbers. Bring it home to you. What does that mean? That means for the average American, according to a Wall Street Journal report at the very last part of 2023, if they do cut the benefits to 79%, that will mean that the average American will lose between $8,000 and $17,000 per year coming from Social Security. Average couple, multiply it by 2, 16,000 to 34,000 less could be coming in for Social Security. It is a huge issue, particularly when you remember that across America, the average American, 40% of their income comes from Social Security. So let's talk about the question, the real question. The real question is not what will Congress do, because as we all know, Congress generally does nothing, okay? The question is, what will you do? How are you going to build it into the plan that if that happens, what will you do to make up that 20% that they cut out of your Social Security? Will you draw extra from your 401k or your IRA? Will you have an annuity that will pay you out enough to pay that difference in guaranteed increasing income for life? Will you try, like you've probably tried year after year after year, to cut down on your spending so you're not spending as much? Most people, when I say that to them, they say, well, good luck on that. It's not worked a lot. But here's the question. What are you going to do about it in your particular situation? You can figure it out on your own. That's where most people say, I need to get some professional help to know what levers, what faucets to turn on so that that income flow is what it needs to be, regardless of whether Congress acts or not, regardless of whether they cut Social Security or not. I need to be secure in my income in retirement. So as we've said before, you need to build a solid retirement plan. We call it a retirement blueprint at our place. And the foundation of any solid retirement blueprint is income. And if 40% of the average American's income comes from Social Security, And there's a strong possibility, unless things change, that that's going to have a big crack in it in about 9 more years, 10 more years. You need to work on that. You need to get that crack in the foundation of income in your plan fixed. If you want to know more about just an overall retirement blueprint, click on the link here and it'll take you to another show where we talk about the whole plan. But the important thing is, you can't build a great plan if it's based on a faulty income foundation. And that's why you need to address this Social Security issue. So you got 3 choices. Do nothing and hope. Hope's a great strategy sometime, but I don't think this way. Number 2, figure it out on your own. Number 3, as I said just a minute ago, get some help. Call somebody, call us. Get some help from your financial advisor. You say, well, my financial advisor really doesn't address much about Social Security. They're a broker. They're just into building my portfolio. Get a new financial advisor. You're retiring now. You're not just trying to build a portfolio. You're trying to make that portfolio last. I hope you've enjoyed this. Maybe you haven't enjoyed this, but maybe it's been beneficial to you. And if you did like what we talked about today, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified when we have shows in the future.